So just how do we start off an adventure? How do we start off a narrative? That's what we're going to explore in this podcast. And I'm going to offer my opinion, my perspective, what I try to do as a game master in my own games. There's a flow. There's a progression. So we all come down and sit at the table, or if it's virtual, and slowly we get into character. This is from the perspective of your players. You unpack your stuff, whether that's digital or like myself, old school analog. Maybe you talk with the other players back and forth. Maybe there's some quick character adjustments that you need to make on there. Before the game starts, the challenges, the responsibilities of the real world are still very, very much present, especially if you're a couple of minutes late and everyone's been waiting for you ready to go. What we're looking to do immediately is pull you as a player, pull our players into the narrative, into the world. Let them forget about everything on the outside of the walls for a few minutes and let them be their character. This can take 5, 6, 7 minutes. It can take a little bit to pull in. So one of the things that I like to do is literally obliterate that immediately. Pull your players in. Pull them in with an argument that they cannot argue with. An example of that's kind of a flowery metaphor here. You're at the inn, and all of a sudden they're screaming and a fire breaks out from the common room, or something explodes outside and the glass is shattered. Those are things that you're suddenly thrust into the action. So however you're going to start off the adventure, I won't say literally start it off with a bang, but start it off with immediately the players need to resolve an action with a sense of urgency. And that action to resolve might be rolling some dice. It might be deciding the next course of action. But very rarely I'll describe the scene of what's going on and then step back and say, okay, what do you want to do right now? Then there's some back and forth. There's some thinking. Well, what did we do last time? What would we like to explore? I want to pull you in and immediately force you to start making some choices. We're going to back up a little bit before we jump into the game. Sometimes at the start of the game, there's a little bit of bookkeeping. Maybe you want to cover what happened in the last gaming session, especially if it was really, really long. Perhaps a player missed a gaming session and you want to give a 2 or 3 minute recap. Maybe there's some important points just to, I won't say throw hints or clues, but maybe push that out. Possibly in between games, the players resolve some actions or they decided to do something, and now you as the game master are reporting back on that. So that little bit of bookkeeping, I like to resolve that ahead of time. But then immediately pull them into the adventure. Pull them into character as quickly and as fast as you can. And we do that by forcing them to start making choices from the eyes and perspective of their characters as quickly as possible.